Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sam, and in today's video, as you can tell of course from the title, I'm going to be showing you all of my tattoos, sharing the stories of when I got them, why I got them, and the meanings behind them. So I guess I'll just go in the order that I got everything in. So the first tattoo, this whole thing was not my first tattoo. I actually just started with a little small piece of it, and I'll show you guys close-ups of everything. It's a little hard for me to twist my arm to really show you, but I have Roman numerals going down the center of my forearm. So the numbers are 1378, and it's the act, scene, and line from Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's the line, "To thine own self be true." And I got this tattoo in my freshman year of college. This tattoo, I would say this one and my most recent one probably have the most meaning behind them. So as a kid, my favorite movie, hands down, was The Lion King. So then in high school, during our senior year, we were reading a whole bunch of Shakespeare plays, and when we got to Hamlet, I was like, oh my god, this is basically the story of The Lion King. And I don't know, I just loved that play, and I felt like because it was the same story as The Lion King, and that was my favorite movie as a kid, I just felt really connected to it. And that one line in particular, "To thine own self be true," like stay true to yourself. It's just so relevant, and I feel like that's something that can resonate with everybody. So then at the end of the school year, right before we were about to graduate, everybody was going around with their senior yearbooks, getting them signed, and I asked my English teacher to sign mine for me. And the last 2 years of my high school career, she and I had just became very close. She really helped me figure out like what my passions were, what I wanted to do after high school. She decided to start a morning television broadcast at our high school, and she really encouraged me to get involved in that. I was one of the first people to work on that, and that's really where I discovered my love for video production and content creation. And who knows if I would have my YouTube channel today if it wasn't for that. So when I went to ask her to sign my yearbook, she wrote me a cute little note, and then at the end of it she wrote, "Remember, to thine own self be true." And I was like, oh my god, like how did she know that that is like my favorite line? It was just really cool. Like everything just kind of came together. So when I was in college, obviously that's a big life change, trying to figure out your life, what you're gonna do with your future. So I just felt like I needed to get something that honored that quote, honored my English teacher, and honored just my time in high school where I was like figuring everything out and finding all of my passions. And I didn't want to just get the quote written out by itself because I just felt like that was just too common, and I don't know, I wanted to do something a little bit different and something that was going to be a little bit more cryptic. Even though it's on my body and like somewhat on display, it keeps it a little bit more private to me. And I don't know, as corny as it sounds, you just always have to remember you gotta stay true to yourself. And I'm one of those people, I feel like I don't need a tattoo to remind myself of things like that, but having it on my body, looking down on it, remembering that time in my life and where I was at in my life, mentally and emotionally. You can hold on to physical things like photographs, ticket stubs, stuff like that, but those things can get lost, they can get thrown out, misplaced. Having something permanent on your body, I'm never going to lose this, you know, it's something that will stay with me forever. And this tattoo took like 10 minutes or less to do. It was super quick, super painless. The second one that I got is on my leg. Again, I'll show you guys close-ups. I never imagined myself to be someone that would have really big visible tattoos. So I don't know what came over me and what made me decide to get this huge one on my leg, and also why I decided to do color. If I had to pick one to get rid of, it would be this one on my leg. I don't know, I think if I had did it in black and gray, I'd like it better. So this one I got my senior year of college, so it was a few years after the first one, and it doesn't have any meaning to it really, honestly. Oh, this sounds so stupid, but it's the truth. I saw a girl who had a big tattoo on the side of her leg, and she was wearing boots, and the tattoo was just sticking out the top of her boot a little bit, and I just thought it looked so cute. So I was like, oh, I want to get a tattoo there too. And I was trying to decide what exactly I was going to put there, and I figured, oh, I'll do flowers because that's simple enough. And I really liked how peonies looked, so that's what I decided to do. So I just went to my tattoo artist. I told him I wanted peony flowers. I told him approximately how big I wanted it to be, and he just kind of drew this up himself. And yeah, it doesn't really have any meaning. I want to say it took maybe around 3 hours or so, and pain wise it wasn't bad. The only part that started to get kind of painful was up towards the top where it goes a little bit more towards the back of my leg. So just that one leaf was a little bit painful, but the rest of it was totally fine, sat through it no problem. The other thing about this tattoo that I don't really love is that it didn't heal properly. So this was my first big tattoo and my first color tattoo. So the tattoo artist told me to put Aquaphor on it. So that's what I did. I followed his exact instructions, and that was just a horrible thing to do. It just pulled the ink out of it so much, and there's some parts of it where there's literally just ink missing, like there's just holes in the tattoo. But luckily it's on leaves. Everyone that I pointed out to, they're like, oh, I thought that that was on purpose. Like it kind of looks like, you know, an insect like took a bite out of the leaf or something. So I mean, I guess it works. It's not super noticeable. So who knows, maybe one day if I have the extra time and the extra money, I will get it lasered off, or maybe covered up or something, I don't know. The next tattoo is my half sleeve, and I don't know, I guess like after I did the big one on my leg, I was just ready to have big visible tattoos. I don't know what got into me, but this one I got done a few months after my leg tattoo. So this was also done my senior year of college, and I think we finished it up after I graduated. So it was like right at the end of my college career. And this one really doesn't have any significant meaning. It was something that I had been thinking about pretty much as soon as I got my leg done. I knew that I wanted a half sleeve, and I knew that I wanted like a really pretty woman. I wanted like long flowy hair. I wanted flowers, something with like a lot of flowy lines that just felt like very feminine. And I don't know how I came across this artist. I think I was just Googling different things like woman long flowy hair tattoo or something like that, but I came across the artist Audrey Kawasaki. Pretty much all of her artwork is exactly the vibe that I was going for, and I happened to come across one in particular, and I don't remember the name of it, but I will try to find it and put a link to it down in the description. But it was exactly what I wanted. It was just this woman like laying in a field of flowers, and her hair was out behind her flowing. I went to somebody different, by the way, than my leg, so I showed him the original art. I told him where I wanted it. I knew I wanted it on my left forearm, and I wanted it to wrap around the Roman numerals so that they would just kind of like blend in, and it would all just kind of become one. So it is inspired by that original artwork. The woman is pretty identical to the woman in the original piece, but everything else around it, all of the detail, all of the flowers, and all of like the shading and stuff is completely custom. He just drew that up himself. Altogether, this probably took around 10 hours to do, maybe a little bit less. I don't even remember. Oh my God, it was so long ago at this point. As far as pain, it really wasn't too bad. The most painful part I remember though was like right up by the fold of my arm. All of these leaves over here, they were pretty rough. Like, I don't know, right there I'm just more sensitive. It goes down onto my elbow a little bit. That wasn't too bad. I've always heard that the elbow hurts so badly, so I was like really expecting that to be the worst part, and it wasn't bad at all. Even over on my wrist wasn't bad, and it only goes up to here. So I get asked all the time if I want to ever do a full sleeve. Probably not. To be completely honest, I'm just kind of over it. I don't regret that I have them at all, but I feel like when I was younger, like in college, I was just a lot more into them, and now I'm just kind of meh, you know? Like I feel like there's more important things to spend my money on than tattoos. So I think I'm just gonna keep this how it is, but you never know, maybe in the far future I'll change my mind. And then the last tattoo, my most recent one, is on my foot. Yeah, you can't even see it anyway. So it's on the side of my foot, and before I even show it to you guys and tell you what it is, let me give you the backstory. I feel like the backstory just kind of like makes it makes sense more. So if you are new to my channel and you don't know a little bit of my story, I went to college, got my degree, got a job with my degree, moved out of my parents' house, was living with my ex-boyfriend now, but my boyfriend at the time. And I was just in a place like pretty much all throughout college and then the years afterwards, I just felt so lost. I knew what things I liked and what I was passionate about, but I didn't know what I wanted for my future. Like, what did I want as a career? Like, what could I see myself waking up every morning and doing? And who did I want to be with? Where did I want to live? I had so many questions and I just felt so up in the air and just very, very unhappy. And I was also going through a lot of mental and physical health things at the time. I had really, really bad anxiety and depression. It was just a rough few years. And I know a lot of people can probably relate to that. I just decided to make a change. I broke up with my boyfriend after almost 8 years, quit my job, moved out of my apartment, moved back in with my parents, decided to go to cosmetology school and finally pursue doing hair as a career. And just everything at that time in my life was very scary. I was making huge changes, like everything in my life pretty much was changing. And it's so hard to make big changes like that because there's that risk and you're always scared and wondering, am I making the right choice? Am I gonna regret this? And then when you add having anxiety on top of that, it just makes it even harder. So I just kept pushing myself and I just kept telling myself like, fuck it, you gotta just go for it. Like, man up, you got this. So that's the backstory. Now getting back to the tattoo. I was about halfway through beauty school at this point, and one of my best friends that I met in beauty school, Julia, if you guys watch my videos, you probably know who she is. She's been in a few of my videos. She had been talking for a little while about wanting to get a new tattoo, and one day we were in class, and I think we were learning to do pedicures that day, because I remember I saw that she had a tattoo on the side of her foot, and I was like, that's so pretty. Like, I love the placement of it. So she was like, oh my God, let's go get tattoos today. Like, get something on the side of your foot. I was like, what? No, like I didn't want anything. Like I hadn't been planning on getting anything done. Didn't have anything in mind. So she goes on Instagram and she's looking at her tattoo artist page, and he just so happened to post on his story that he had a last minute cancellation and he had an opening, and his opening was right at the time when we were gonna be done with school that day. And the other thing that's so crazy is that after school, I was supposed to be meeting my mom because she had a doctor's appointment and she wanted me to meet her there or whatever. And her doctor's office, I can't even make this shit up. Her doctor's office was around the corner from the tattoo shop where my friend always goes to get her tattoos done. And I had about an hour to kill between when I was done with school and when her doctor's appointment was. So I was like, oh my God, it's literally right there. I have time to kill. Her tattoo artist just posted that he has a last minute opening at that exact time. It's like the stars are aligning, like we have to do this. So I was like, okay, I'll get something on the side of my foot, but I didn't know what I wanted to get. I knew I wanted words and I knew I wanted some kind of cursive writing, but I didn't know what I wanted it to say. So I'm like thinking of different songs that I like well, maybe I'll put a song lyric or, you know, a quote or whatever. And then I don't know, it just like came to me and I was like, maybe I'll just put fuck it, because that really had become my mantra. Like I would say it all the time. So I have fuck it in really beautiful cursive on the side of my foot. And I love it because it just reminds me of that time in my life. I'm at a point now, finally, where I'm so happy. I feel so fulfilled with everything in my life. Like every aspect. I went from feeling so lost and so unhappy. I never would have got to where I'm at now if I didn't overcome all of that fear and anxiety and just keep saying fuck it. And the font, I don't remember the exact name of it. I'm sorry. I was just on one of those like free font websites just looking at handwriting cursive fonts until I found one that I liked. It took like 10 minutes, completely painless spot. So yeah, I love that tattoo so much. And I love it because it's hidden, you know, no one really sees it. Obviously I wouldn't get fuck it like on my chest or on my forehead or something like that. So I figured like on my foot, it's more hidden. So I feel like it's kind of funny and stupid, but it also really does hold a lot of meaning to me. So those are all of my current tattoos. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from me, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.